Hello everyone. Welcome to this session wherein we are going to learn how to manage your diabetes. I'm Mahua Ghosh, the co-founder and CEO of the brand The Filling Station, and our eminent guest today is Mr. Rajiv Ambert, a health and fitness entrepreneur. In this session, it will be of 30 minutes, wherein at the end of the session, we'll have a round of Q&A. So let's get started. Just let me share my screen. Yes, so this is what we are going to learn and discuss today. A brief note about the filling station. The filling station is a health food startup brand providing holistic health benefit through our products. We provide healthy alternatives to the food that you eat. We do not use any white sugar, no preservatives, no artificial colors or flavors. And all our ingredients used in the products are natural. Our mission is to help everyone make a healthy and happy living. And about our eminent guest today, Mr. Rajiv Ambert is a health and fitness entrepreneur. He is the CEO and founder of Nuvo Vuvo. He is also an author of the book, The Midlife Crisis, a very interesting name. His organizations help people to reverse lifestyle diseases like diabetes, fatty liver, PCOS, etc. So let's get started. And for all those who are there till the end of the session, there's a surprise gift waiting for you all. So can you give us a little idea about what are the factors they are actually responsible? Like you said, the genetics, I understand that. Apart from that, what else? So that, people are conscious, they can take the steps beforehand also.
Right. So I just want to make an important distinction when we talk about genetics. Okay, I've heard, so when leads or clients come and speak to us about diabetes, I've heard people kind of rationalizing, saying that, my parents are diabetic, so ye to hona hi tha. Okay, and that's where I disagree. Okay, there is a difference between a genetic disease and a genetic predisposition. These are two different things. Okay, sickle cell. The difference is that, for example, there is a disease that my parents have, and it got passed on to me for sure. Irrespective of what I do with my life, if I live healthy, if I live unhealthy, it gets passed on. This is genetic disease, sickle cell anemia. It gets passed on. All my grandparents had it. It gets passed on. Certain kind of myopathy. My parents had it, my grandparents had it, it gets passed on to the offspring. It will definitely get passed on to my offsprings also. This is genetic. Genetic predisposition means that, you are predisposed to certain kind of conditions. So if you do not take care of lifestyle properly, you will easily catch it. Okay, that is genetic predisposition. So two people, both living in a very bad lifestyle, both will not catch diabetes in the same manner or at the same pace. A person who is bestowed with a better genetic metabolic parameters, better genetic material, would catch it much later, right? So while the genetics has made you predisposed, the reason that a person got diabetes is because the person had a bad lifestyle, right? So lifestyle is the primary thing. So that's the difference between genetic and genetically predisposed. Okay, of course there are certain conditions which are genetic also, I'm not saying that, but majority of what we see as diabetes here is genetically predisposed. You're predisposed, you didn't eat properly, you have been having excessive calorie this thing, or you live in a very pressure cooker kind of a highly tension driven environment, or it maybe there is extremely lack of physical activity. All these things together has made a person more susceptible. So these are the factors primarily responsible: lack of sleep, excessive tension, anxiety, high calorie food, extreme amount of sugar, lack of physical activity. These are the primary things, and I'm sure again these are no brainers. A lot of people would already know these things. Yeah.
No, still, it reiterates that yes, these are the factors that are responsible for the diabetes, and we need to take care of them. This is just further enhances that thing. So, like, can diabetes be reversed? Because most of the people would want to know this.
Very relevant question. Yes, it can be reversed. Okay.
Great.
But let me clarify a few things. How far and how much can diabetes be reversed depends from person to person. A person who is 30 years of age became diabetic. A person who is 50 years of age has been diabetic for 20 years. Both of them cannot reverse it the same way. A 30-year-old person who decided to work on it and reverse it can reverse it to a much larger extent as compared to a 50-year-old person who's been diabetic for 20 years now. Right? So the longer that you've been diabetic, the lesser chance or ability for a person to reverse it. That's one, right? Genetic aspect is yet another factor, right? Associated comorbidities and complications are yet another factor. If the diabetes has progressed to nephropathy, which is basically kidney disorder, so the high blood sugar level, so kidney is like a water filter. Kidney filters blood in our body, and when excessive sugar in the blood, so think of it this way: when we make chai at home, right, that filter that we use, the chai patti, if that filter is
Sheet.
slightly cracked in somewhere, right, the
Hmm.
chai patti will fall in from the thing to your tea cup, right?
Right.
The same way, kidney filters out a lot of things from the blood, but if the filtering is not working properly, the albumin from the blood will start leaking out into the urine. So that's why when people who are extremely diabetic or diabetic has been for a long time, if the urine is frothing, or if you do a urine analysis test and if it gets urine albumin, then it basically means that, hey, you know what, the high blood sugar levels have started impacting kidney, right? So when that happens again, it is much more difficult to manage. See, how do we typically talk about managing diabetes? You reduce carbohydrate, increase protein, right? But what happens with when associated other conditions happen, you have lesser elbow room to do all these things, because when the kidney gets impacted, then you can't increase protein.
Protein. Correct.
Right. So
Yes.
similarly, and diabetes also comes up with other complications gradually and steadily, like hypertension, cholesterol. So some people, obviously, lack of physical activity and everything would also lead to fatty deposition on liver, sometimes gallbladder stones. All these things will come along with it. So each of these things will restrict doing something or other. For example, if kidney becomes chronically this thing, then you can't add a lot of vegetables. A lot of green leafy vegetables cannot be added, right? So can diabetes be reversed? Of course it can be reversed. How far, how much, how soon depends from person to person. It also depends upon when did you decide to get it reversed. The faster and sooner you sit and think about reversing it, you can reverse it. Maybe you might reverse it only 50%. That's all right, but that is 50% reduction in your current medication. If you're having a glycomet 1000, if your blood sugar levels have improved and insulin sensitivity has improved by 50%, you need not have that much medication. You need to have only half of that medication. So I would call that a reversal, right? So don't think of reversal as only 0% or 100%. No, that's not how it works in reality. So with that in the background, yes, it can be reversed.
But I think at least, a few years back also, I don't think I had heard that diabetes can be reversed. Means really happy to know so, because earlier we thought that once you have diabetes, it's gone.
So that is yet another problem, right? People think that once it is diabetics, I can't do anything about it. I only have to rely on medications.
Yes.
That is another recipe for future problems.
Disasters.
Right?
Disasters to happen. Oh, this is really a wonderful share, Rajiv, really enlightening. During when we were discussing the webinar, you said that you would like to share today 5 simple and effective steps of managing diabetes. I think that is what everyone are very eagerly waiting to listen to you. So let's understand what are they.
Right. So when we talk about eating right, a lot of people immediately thinks of eating right. Generally, if we ask most of the Indians as to what does eating right mean, they would say eat on time, eat healthy food. Okay. Which is fine, which is great. But eating healthy doesn't stop at eating on time or eating healthy food. Okay. Now you're eating on time, but so people generally say, "I'm eating on time." I'll ask them, "So okay, what if you're eating McDonald's burger and pizza on time?" I was like, "Of course, I'm going to eat healthy food. I'm going to eat healthy food at home." Now it's a different question altogether. That if the food that you made at home need not always be healthy. Let's be clear about it. Okay, but then let's assume the food made at home is healthy, right? But instead of, suppose if there is one portion of food, you make the world's most healthiest food, but if you eat more than what your body needs, your cholesterol levels will go up. There'll be fatty accumulation. There'll be fatty liver. There'll be excessive abdominal obesity. Blood sugar levels can go haywire, right? So even the world's most healthiest food, if you eat more than what your body needs, you'll get all these diseases. So quality of food is important. Equally important is quantity of food, right? You need to get both of it right? You get the quantity right, but quality got no point. Like you're eating only what required calories, but you're eating McDonald's burger and pizza. Gone case, no point. Ulta also, you're getting best food, but you overeat, right? So and again, I am a proponent of being sensible about eating food. Okay. Now I'm a Malayali. You ask me to stop eating, say, rice. Not going to happen. I'm sorry. Like it's not part of my regular eating habit, and I don't believe in this guacamole dip and then avocado salad. And I mean, it's nice to have it once in a while. It's not something that I would fancy having every day, right? So let's be sensible about doing this. And another thing is that health and wellness is not something that you do when you have all the time in the world. I've heard people say that, hey, you know what? Next 3 months I'm relatively free, so I can do diet. And it's like you're doing it wrong. You should rather do diet and exercise when you within your normal routine, so that you can do this for rest of your life, which is between all your travel, which is between all your marriage functions and all your other family functions and all that. If you learn to do it that way, only then you can sustain it for rest of another 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right? So eating right would mean being sensible. It's extremely important to have a healthy relationship with food. uh, I hate the word anything which is extremely extensive. For example, one of the things that I hate about right now, I've heard people say that I've done keto and I've managed diabetes. Of course, if you stop eating sugar, if you stop eating carbohydrates, your blood levels will fall and will be much lesser. But let's understand, diabetes is when you eat carbohydrate, body is unable to manage blood glucose. So if you don't eat carbohydrates, your blood glucose level will obviously be normal. You can't say it is reversal, right? So, and that I want to make that clear distinction, and that's where the difference between managing diabetes and reversing diabetes comes. I can manage diabetes from this very moment. Okay, I just need to only reduce carbohydrates, add protein, add fiber, my blood sugar levels will become normal, right? But if I eat carbohydrate, my body is still unable to absorb it and metabolize it. Okay, and if I'm improving that, I'm reversing diabetes. How do I do that? That comes to the second point: exercise. So eating right means eating sensible, not staying away from carbohydrates. When I say eat sensible, instead of having brown rice with some curd and pickle, have white rice. It's no problem, but have it with a dhet sare vegetables and green leafy vegetables and fiber. That's actually better. So don't get into brown rice just because you think it's healthier option. It is healthier option, but you can make white rice even more healthier with some sense, common sense, right? So eat health right means be sensible, go balanced and all that, right? Exercises. There are different kinds of exercise. Someone was earlier asking walking. I'm sorry, walking is not an exercise. Walking is an activity. And the majority of the people that I've seen, I live near the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in the Cochin, and I've seen people go there out for a walk, and I've seen that 99% of people who walk there are capable of doing much more strenuous and difficult exercises. Okay, so and as I said, a lot of regular activities that people used to do at home used to be very physically strenuous. They just didn't look at it at exercises, right? As I said, I've seen my granny taking buckets of water from the well, taking this thing and then carrying it and then pouring the water to different plants and all that, right? So we're not doing any of those things. So exercises, walking is an activity. It's great, but do not equate that into exercise. Most of the people, even elderly, can do other kind of exercises. So what are the other kind of exercises? One, of course, is the cardio exercises. of course, there might be some problem for elderly to do it. They won't be able to run or jump or swim or all those things. But cardiovascular exercise are good. But if there is a knee pain, neck pain, back pain, don't go and do all this jumping jacks and burpees, and be sensible about it, right? The second type of exercise is weight training, any exercises which involves muscles, like the examples that I already taken. But again, be sensible that if there is an inguinal hernia or if there is a piles or fistula, don't lift heavy weights. It will make things worse, right? But if there is an arthritic knee, if you're not able to walk, you can sit on a chair and take two bottles of water, and with them also you can do a lot of exercises for the upper body. And weight training has a direct impact on improving the insulin sensitivity. So weight training is extremely important. Among the third exercise is yoga. Yoga, obviously, flexibility, alignment of energy across 7 chakras, mind, body, soul, and all that, right? But among these 3 exercises, cardio, weight training, and yoga, the one which works the best for the insulin management or insulin resistance, reducing the insulin resistance, would be weight training, which involves working directly on the muscles. So exercises are, but again, apply common sense. As I said, with hernia, with piles, with fistula, do not go and lift weights, mindlessly, right? Sleep, extremely important. If you don't sleep properly, then blood sugar levels are going to be haywire, and it's just commonsensical. I don't have to explain that. Find means to do it, not going to be gyanbaji there. Fourth one is manage stress. Stress, yet another factor. One of my best method to manage stress would be yoga, breathing exercises. These are all helpful, right? Last comes to the importance of medicines. Now, I am not against medicines. I would definitely suggest that if medicines, therapeutic management is required to manage a sort of a disease, you need it. That is basically your lifesaver. The problem is when you become completely and entirely reliant only on medicines. Okay, in my opinion, medicine should be your plan B, and it should definitely be your plan B. Okay, but your plan A will be your lifestyle change. You change your lifestyle, you do exercises, you do this dietary management and all those things. And when you do that, you probably will be able to bring down your blood sugar levels from a fasting, say from 300 to say 150. You now only need to worry about the remaining 15. So that's where the medicines would come in, right? But if you don't do this, your medicine dosage will be much higher to bring it down from 300 down to 100. Your fasting blood sugar levels, right? So medicines are extremely important. Now, when we talk about medicine, there are a variety of different types of medicines, right? Glycomet, dapagliflozin, sitagliptin, voglibose, different types of medications. Each of these medications bring down blood sugar levels in different manner, different methods. Now, it is extremely important to bring your physician or endocrinologist or diabetologist into loop to help you facilitate that. But relying only on that is going to be a disaster for future. Lifestyle expert is extremely important. Yeah, so these are the things, I mean, which needs to be looked at it from managing the diabetes and even reversing it.
Yes, I think we are at the end of the session. Everyone here who have joined, if you have any questions, we can take it quick 5 minutes, max to max 6 minutes. I left to end this session. To if you have any questions, you can please open your mic and ask Rajiv. He's here with us. Yeah, Trusha, she wants to ask a question. Trusha, you can unmute and ask.
So I wanted to ask Rajiv about the role of fruits. We keep hearing that like now it's a mango season, but diabetics should not have it, and bananas is not good. But also we keep reading that these are natural fruit, natural sugars which get absorbed in the body quickly, and even the body can effectively.
Okay, I understood this question. Okay, so even the table sugar that we get in our that we use in kitchen is also natural. It's made from sugarcane. Okay, so let's be very clear. Let's not get carried away by just 1 second, please. Sorry, my son has barged in into this, so Yeah. So that you get my point, right? Even the sugar that we get, use the white sugar, is natural in that sense. It is actually made from sugarcane, from natural ingredients only. So when so anything which includes blood sugar, glucose levels, you forget about natural, unnatural. Natural is good, unnatural is bad, is a very simplistic approach towards doing all these things. It will do us more harm. Honey is natural, but honey is a no for a diabetic person. Okay, so that comes to this question about fruits. Can fruits be included for a diabetic person? See, our approach with our clients is this: we don't say no to fruits, but we don't include fruits for everyone the same way. The more chronic the person is with diabetes, we will reduce fruits. If the person is only just mildly diabetic or pre-diabetic or started in the initial ranges of blood sugar levels, we allow them fruits. Okay, we rather prefer vegetables. The difference here is that vegetable plus sugar is equal to fruit. Look at it that way. Vegetable is basically fiber, minerals, vitamins, maybe little amount of other complex carbohydrates sometimes might come along with it. That's what vegetable is. But you add fructose or sucrose to on top of it, it becomes a sugar, right? Now, the fruit content, so hence we obviously need to fructose or natural sugar or unnatural, whatever it is, once it comes to your body, the blood glucose levels are going to spike up. So if a person is chronic diabetic and if blood sugar levels are high and is on a certain higher range of medications, I would definitely ask the person to stay away from mangoes. I will definitely ask the person to stay away from mangoes. Okay. Now, very commonsensical. These are all very simple things. And most of the diabetic person, if there are people at home, we will all have a glucometer at our home. No? So after having mango, test it yourself. Now, I'm a strong believer that what gets measured gets managed. Okay. So if you are doubtful about it, do not agree to it just because I said this, or just because someone else said this, or just because Ruchita Divekar had said it. Okay, I would say get a glucometer, test it yourself, and see. You would know, and I've seen it myself. I've seen it myself that if you do that, if the more chronic the person is, fruits is definite no, right? So that's my answer towards fruits.
Thanks, Rajiv. Thanks for this wonderful share of yours. Suggesting, the best is suggesting check on the glucometer. That's the best. Whatever anyone says, why do go with what you are seeing yourself? Absolutely, completely agree to it. Rajiv, for the persons, everyone who have joined here, do you have any offers to give or tell them anything? You
Yeah.
can
So
share your website also here in the
right.
chat, also in the group.
Yeah, I
Yes,
will. I'll.
Mahi. Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good evening. Yeah, good
yeah.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It was really an informative session. I would just like to know, whenever I do my blood test, the doctor says like your diabetes is on borderline, so it's better, I don't want to put you on any medication. You can go for walking. So what you can give me any tips for, like, when she says that it is on borderline?
When who says what's not borderline? I didn't
The
understand.
Yeah,
blood sugar.
diabetes or blood sugar is always on borderline. She tells me the same thing, and go for walking. I don't want to put you on medication, since my mother was also a diabetic. So we all have that in the family. We have that disease. So we really we do the test on and off. So
Regularly. Got
this
it.
is
I
what my
understand.
doctor says.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
doctor is saying this with a good intention, in the sense that he knows from his experience that the minute you put somebody on a medication, the people would not give much importance to lifestyle change. And lifestyle change is the primary thing required. And that's the reason the doctor is saying this. And I appreciate him for saying that. So because he's coming from a good intention.
Yes.
But that being said, one thing which I will not blame him is that he's a doctor. He's not going to understand exercises or all these things. That's why he's saying walking. Instead of walking, what I would say is that do some weight training, resistance training. You can do this at home. You can get a pair of dumbbells or a pair of this toning bands on Amazon. You can use them at home and just exercise for 3 minutes every day for 5 days in a week. That is enough. And with that, you will be able to improve muscles. See, muscles are like the sponges which absorbs water, which absorbs glucose. Sponge which absorbs water from the floor. Muscle is the sponge which takes glucose from the blood. So better use your muscle quality, the more glucose it will absorb. How do you make the muscles better? By working on those muscles.
Okay,
Right?
thank you.
So
Yeah.
that's how you do about managing and reversing the. So that's where the importance of exercises would come. I think if you are interested, you have my number, or Mahua will give
Yes.
you. We probably can discuss
Yeah.
later. I also might want to see your blood report to know a little more conclusively as to how to go about doing this.
Yeah, I will, inshallah, I will forward, inshallah.
I will get you connected, Shamina, with Rajiv,
Yes.
because we just have a minute left.
Yes,
So we
okay.
can't, Rajiv, what can we do? Another thing is that in the group, you can share the details. We can keep this group for one day further. For anyone to have any question, you can ask and Rajiv will be there to share. Then tomorrow we will close the group. Fine?
Absolutely.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
everyone. I'm very sorry. I'm sure you have all got many more questions in your mind, but we cannot continue further as time is ticking. So thanks a lot, Rajiv, for
Thank you.
taking the time and joining us here today. It's a wonderful to know about everyone. The things which you shared also, it's really great. Thanks a lot. Hope
Thank you.
it was a value addition to you, your life. Stay healthy, stay happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.